Hey, good morning again, everybody. This is Tim, and I am doing another analysis through video this time. I will be writing an analysis later on today, but I decided I would do a video one since I was up early and decided to take a look at the charts. I can see we're still holding on to 60K pretty nicely. Let's see what the all-time high was yesterday. Looks like we got all the way up to about 60,864. Wait a minute. No, we got all the way up to $61,850 pretty much. So that's pretty high, guys. We broke previous resistance and things look good right now. I will explain that further through the analysis, but right now I see that there is some support right here. Let me press shift, that'll make the line straight. Here we go. Alright, so we have some resistance right here, which flipped to support, which is common in TA. You see that all the time. Looks like the support's holding, so we could even see a pump from this new bounce support. We're going to have to wait and see, though. Sundays are usually typically low volume days. So if FOMO comes into play, though, anything can happen, guys. You've seen it through this entire bull market. FOMO has played a big part in these pumps. So, anything could really happen. $60,000 Bitcoin is still cheap to people in the grand scheme because they think Bitcoin's going to a million or something, So $60,000 Bitcoin is cheap if you think in that frame of mind. So, what do we do here? Okay, so since we're traveling above this support right here, if this support holds, I would expect a little bounce. We may not hit 65K from it, but retesting former resistance, like when you break it, retesting is very common, and that's what we're doing right now. We're retesting it, and if it fails, we're likely to revisit former support, which could be the 50 MA, or let's see where else there's all kinds of areas where you can actually claim their support, like right here especially. What I'm going to do is press shift to make the line straight. There we go. Alright, so now you see that this was resistance here. It was also back there, that line hit. So then it becomes support afterwards. So if we fell, it's 50 MA is above that, so that's where I would look first. But if we lose that, we got this line, we have the cloud. We have a lot of support below us. This is what I'm getting at, and that means there's some confidence in this market for people to go long. That's probably why we've held on to 60K as long as we have. One thing about this weekend is one of my clients is bringing up is, what about the gap? Yes, there probably will be a gap, but you have to cross that bridge when you get there. It's not formed yet. It won't form until the market's open Monday or the close Sunday. You just keep an eye on the CME chart. Once that Monday morning, that first month, that the beginning of the week candle starts to paint, that's when you need to enter your trade, because you just never know. You can enter it before and get a head start, don't get me wrong, if you're confident it's going to stay at that level. But like I said, if let's say you have $1,000 bearish gap and it right before the Sunday night close, that gap disappears. I've seen it happen, and that's one of those things where you really don't want to play with fire, because sometimes those gaps don't form like that. Like, I'm still learning them. I don't understand all the mechanics behind them, but every week I learn more and more. And it's funny because a lot of the people I talk to, they don't pay attention to gaps. Even the people that train me here, let me turn my Bollinger Band on. But like, it's like they just ignore gaps altogether. But not me. I like gaps. I think gaps are a reliable way to make trades and a reliable way to make some quick profit, and that's why I always like to bring them up. But this one, since we've gone up since that Friday, what was Friday, the 12th? So it's 30, yeah, it's the 12th. So right here is the last day right here. So we ended Friday at what, 57, and during the weekend we got, this is where we're at now, so 60. So there's about a $3,000 difference, which leads me to assume there probably will be a bearish gap. The gap right here, this one candle is probably around about how big the gap's going to be, in my opinion. I might be wrong. We'll have to see Monday. I'm still learning these gaps, so y'all bear with me. But I'm expecting a gap to form below since we had such a nice rise this weekend. But just keep your ears open and keep your eyes open and look at the CME chart as soon as it is active again, because they close for the weekend, obviously. But enough about gaps. Let's look at what's going on the chart. All right, so we have this nice little uptrend. We're respecting it. We haven't really approached it as far as this. We could. What I'm saying here is consolidation would be very easy to see until we get here, and then if we could see another bounce from there, or we might see a break. And it's one of those things where it just depends on how shaky the market is at that time. We might even see a break before it, but I do see a lot of support right here at about 60K. I mean, not 60K, at about 58.9, 58.8. Right now we're at 60K, and we're flirting with dropping below 60K, which is not a surprise. You know what the weekend is. It's just low volume. But with breaking 60K yesterday, it could be a formula for another pump. We're retesting the support right now. That's what I'm waiting to see, if we get a bounce from it, and like I said, if you were going to enter a long, wouldn't you want to enter it when you hit the support right here and catch that bounce? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to suggest anything, but if you do want to enter a long there, I would do something like set my stop loss maybe right about here, because I have confidence in this support. You know what I mean? If you have enough confidence in that support, set your stop loss below it. That way, if it breaks, your stop loss will trip, and you're out of the trade with a minimal loss. And that's the way I do it. You know what I mean? Long story short, that's about how most of my trades go. So, just a little helpful hint there. All right, guys. It's a sell signal right now, so we had 3 red candles. That doesn't surprise me. Hitting almost 62K on a weekend is it's something to be proud of, in my opinion. We've had a lot of conflicting thoughts in the market. Like, a bunch of people think it's going to be bearish, think it's bullish. Once we got up to this 58,350, which was the previous all-time high, people were thinking a rejection was likely because we weren't getting above it. We did get above it. It seems like Bitcoin has been proving the bears wrong this entire run. You know what I mean? Even me, I was thinking, oh, the bull run's over at 42K because we dropped to 28K, and now we're up at 60. You know what I mean? It shows that even in my situation where I might read the charts every day, I still can get it wrong, guys. And I'm not perfect, never will be, but I will say that my trading strategy more than makes up for that, because I leave myself risk management involved in it and use the stop loss to my advantage. So that keeps me from losing much money and maximizes my gains. And I made a few videos covering that yesterday. They're part of the course, so I'll leave that as it is. Let's go look at the daily real quick and see what's going on. It's still bullish on all of the time frames, in my opinion, because there's we're above the 50 MA, the 200 MA, and the cloud on both time frames. And you can see my drawings got a little small. I'm gonna erase this. But we have a nice uptrend right here. Let's just start here. You know what I mean? And nothing goes up forever, but we sure have been following it. And 2 out of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 out of 10 candles are red. 8 out of 10 candles are green. That just shows you that the bulls are not ready to give up yet. We came down here, touched the 50 MA, and had another launch. If you would have just bought off of every touch of the 50 MA, you could have made some serious money. You know what I mean? And that's why I like these MAs, guys. They're very useful. I mean, even if you only made one trade every 30 days, you could make a lot of money just off of the bounces off of the MA. Now, are they going to bounce forever? Absolutely not. It will break the MA eventually. But look at how many times you could have bought off of this bounce. Even the indicator told you buy. And you go up. Indicator tells you to buy off the 50 MA. Tells you to sell right here. Buy off the 50 MA. So it's common. Bots and even this program likes MAs. So I just want you guys to trust MAs, especially the 50 MA and the 200 MA. They're both my favorites. The 200 MA has been quite reliable on the 4-hour time frame lately, and I'll show you an example of that real quick. So you see that the 4-hour MA, 200 MA, 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 bounces. So like I said, if you would have bought off of every bounce off the 200 MA and sold at the top, I mean, that one wouldn't have been very big, but this one would have been huge. So, like I said, guys, keep that in mind. Use those MAs to your advantage. Use some of these indicators to your advantage. I know some people are like, I don't need them. All I need is support and resistance. That's fine. That is the most important thing on the chart, is support and resistance. But that's MAs go with that. MAs become support, and they are resistance. You know, just depends on where you're at on the chart. And when you're above them, I said it before, but I'll say it one more time. It's bullish to be in this situation. The 50 MA above the 200 MA, that's bullish as well. When the orange line, which is the 50 MA, crosses below the blue line, which is the 200 MA, that's bearish. It's called a death cross. Does that mean we're going to zero? No. We had a death cross just recently, in fact. Let me go back to it. Right here. You see that? Where the orange was below. But it was just a fake out. It happened for a few days and then it came back. But it was a death cross. That's what a death cross is when the orange line crosses below the blue line. And that's whenever people say the bear market's coming. This was just a little taste. We didn't drop very far and it held. So we came back up. The 50 MA follows the candles better than the 200 MA does. So, long story short, we got out of that mess, and now we're at a golden cross, is what it calls. Whenever the orange line crosses back above the blue line, it's called a golden cross, and that's bullish. Now, that's more prominent on the daily. These golden and death crosses are better. You see better results on the daily from situations like that. On the 4-hour, you can still see results, but it's just not quite as they're not quite as big, I guess is the best way to put it. Nothing really is, though. The daily is the most significant time frame out of all of them. But other than that, guys, I'm bullish. I know that there's a bearish gap to fill after the weekend, which we should paint at least 3 or 4 more candles. So I'm imagining if that gap decides to fill, we're going to be right about here unless we go up a lot. I'm going to say we're probably going to be right about here. And if that gap fills, we're going to lose this trend. And if we lose that trend, the 50 MA is probably where we're going to land, in my opinion. So look for 55K on Monday if we fill that gap. Okay? It's just a hunch I have, but you can make some money off of doing that, guys. Go into Tether, rebuy when Bitcoin's at the bottom. It's simple as that. But like I said, enter any trades at your own risk, guys. Everything is you need to have some risk management in mind when you make this trade, and you need to have an exit strategy. You know what I mean? Take profit strategy. Everything you need to be accounted for. Trading is not something that you just throw $20 at and you turn around and come back and there's 200. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of work. So just pay attention to the charts, use stop losses to your advantage, and y'all have a good Sunday. And I'll talk to you guys later. I'm going to make a written analysis here in a little bit, but this is just to hold you guys over, I guess. I don't mind making a video analysis every now and then, especially on the weekends. But anyways, I'll do a written analysis later on. I'm on the 3-day ban still from Facebook, but I think it's over at like 10:30 a.m., so that's like 2 hours from now. So after that, I'll post my regular daily analysis again and try not to get banned again, but I can't make any promises. They banned me over something really immature and stupid this time, so I mean, everybody's offended over something, it seems like. But anyways, it's fun, and I hope I see you guys next time.